Happy holidays, everyone. We here at BTP have taken a little bit of time off of creating new content for the holiday season here in 2022. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and release a fast break episode that we aired earlier, actually in 2022, was the year-end review of 2021, hosted by Josh. It had Eid, myself, David, and Dan in it. And so our fast break episodes are our Patreon exclusive episodes, easy for me to say. If you would like to listen to these fast break episodes like this, actually we're changing the format and going to a different format here in 2023. But either way, you can go ahead and listen to the backlog of 40 plus episodes like this if you join our Patreon at just as much as, $5 a month or something. So nice little plug there for the Patreon. Either way, happy holidays. Hope you guys are staying safe and warm out there, and enjoy this episode. And we will be back in 2 weeks, I think, because next week we have another special episode that we'll be doing on Dan hosted game. So there you go. So thank you very much for everything. Happy holidays to you and yours. There you go. Enjoy the show.
This is the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. We have assembled the world's finest sports and trivia dorks to prove once and for all that we are just as bad at this as we were at sports.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast, sports trivia for those of us who rode the pine. I'm your host, Josh, and today's fast break game is the 2021 Year in Review, and we'll be pitting the Benchwarmer team of Matt Doherty and Eric Eid versus the Benchwarmer team of Dan Lundberg and David Lux.
Boo. Boo.
Good to see you, gentlemen. Why don't you guys take a moment and share a resolution or a hope for 2022? And let's start off with Matt.
How
you doing? And share one of those.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, I know it's kind of cliche, but here starting on Monday the 3rd, I am hitting the diet hard. So I have a plan, and it involves eating a lot of vegetables. So yeah. So I bought like a Garmin watch and a Garmin scale and everything, and I've got like an accountability group, and that means this is like my last beer for like, not this one right now, but starting on Sunday, after Sunday, it's going to be no beer for like months. So I know it's Dan making a look in his face like, I don't believe Matt's going to do this. Yeah, it's going to be tough. White liquors, clear liquors. Is that what they say? Less calories. So I don't know. Bourbon. I guess I'll have to try to find a way to like bourbon. There you go.
Those clear liquors like bourbon.
No, well then whatever. Anyway, so we'll see how far my alcoholism goes. That too. My addiction to food will meet my addiction to alcohol.
All right. So vegetables and vodka.
Yeah, there you go.
Clear vegetables and clear vodka.
Yeah, clear vegetables. It's like Pepsi Clear. What was in that? I really don't want to know.
All right, Eric. How about you? You got a resolution or a hope for the next year? It doesn't have to be a resolution. It can be a hope.
Here's my hope. Here it is. I'm not going to say that the standard cliche, COVID, I wish it's gone, because I think everybody wants that to happen. My hope is for at least one of my children to stop actively trying to kill themselves on a daily basis. That just one of them. I don't. Christmas came. I'm at my sister's house. This is just a short story, and I hear somebody yell from the background, "Oh no, he's throwing up!" I turn and look, my 4-year-old puking on the floor. Awesome. So I look over. I'm like, he's probably got a stomach bug. We got to go. We got to leave. I go to get something to wipe it up. All of a sudden, I hear he's doing it again. I'm like, mother. I look over him and he's like chewing something as it's happening. So I'm like, all right, whatever. We got to I'll bring him to the bathtub and we'll clean him and then we'll leave. I bring him in the bathroom. He's chewing something. He stole a cupcake and did not take the cupcake wrapper off of it. So he was actively trying to eat the cupcake wrapper and kept gagging on it. Just didn't, like, after the fourth attempt, I'm like, hey, maybe no, maybe don't do that. So
4-year-olds.
yeah.
Wait, he's how old?
He's 4, but he's
Okay.
we don't have cupcakes. We've never had a cupcake, like ever. We don't have them in the house. So there was a new thing to him. He didn't know that paper came on some of them. So ate it. And I'm like, why do you have gum in your mouth? I pull it out. It's like a 1-inch long piece of cupcake paper. I'm like, oh, that's why you're puking. Go away. You're up for adoption. So if anybody wants a child, let me know.
Wait, now you've never had cupcakes in the house before this?
Why? Is that like a normal thing?
I don't know. We make cupcakes all the time.
Never.
Are they clear cupcakes?
That's right. I was about to say.
Clear vegetable cupcakes.
Right. So
Doesn't
far,
start with a V.
we can resolve 2 resolutions. Matt can mail all of his cupcakes to Eric.
There you go.
Right. Eric's kids can learn how to eat cupcakes, and Matt can get them out of the house. We're all
There you
good.
go.
It's
I
all
like it.
perfect.
Solving problems, David.
So man, Eric,
I-
what's your team name for today?
Well, since we're going, Matt and I are going against the Double D's today, Dan and David. We haven't used a Seinfeld reference in a while, so we're going to be the Manzier.
That's the bro.
Nope.
No, it's the Manzier.
All right, Dan, how about you?
I got my booster today, so I'm starting to get the dead arm. We'll see how that goes. I'm playing hurt tonight, so. And if anybody has listened to the show, they know that my weakness in sports trivia is recent sports. So me being in the year review may not be the best idea. I didn't know that this was what we were doing when I decided that I could play tonight. And so I'm here and I'm teaming up with David for the first time, but I'm going to be playing at like half strength because I don't know. And that's going to lead into my resolution. I am going to do better at following sports over the next year. So when next December comes around, I'm going to try. I'll be following all the clear sports and
All right. Wonderful. And last but not least, David, how about you?
Yeah, Dan. Well, Dan and I are probably not going to pair up well at all because I'm clearly the old guy on the podcast. But I think for me, recent sports, if it hasn't been in a book yet, I have no prayer of ever realizing. I mean, I've heard there's this web thing out there that I'm supposed to learn things from, but it's tough. I don't like the way Dan's talking about this, and I don't like my chances. I don't remember anything that happened in the last 12 months. I can't even remember a year going by, which is part of the problem. But
Sure. And with this, he's going to answer every question correctly because
Naughty,
this is what
no, he's-
David does.
Mhm. This is the standard David song and dance. I don't even know what sports are.
Look at me. I don't even know what's going on.
Television? What's a television?
I don't need the television. All right. So anyway, Dan, I don't know what we settled on for a team name, but I
can tell you what we did.
Oh, please do. I know what we kicked around, but I can't remember what the final was. So
All right. So we decided that since we are going to be the ones who are going to be talking it out this game, we're going to be, you can talk it out.
You just want to hear me repeat that
yes,
back to back
Yes.
all the time.
That's going to happen? I didn't even realize that would
that's
happen.
right. Torturing Josh is a bonus, but yes.
Well, I might just resort to the double D's, but we'll see. You can talk it out versus Manzier. Okay.
It's bro. It's the bro.
Let's kick it on over to Dan for the rules. Dan.
Today's fast break game will consist of 2 halves of play, each with a different trivia style. The styles of each half will change from show to show, and I will explain them to you as we go along. Like any good sporting event, we will have a halftime show after the first half with entertainment questions pertaining to sports. Following the second half, we will head to extra time, where our teams will wager from their points accumulated to see who are today's little giants to be honored as the short game masters that they are. All right, let's get this game underway.
I like that
Really
Dan
sick
better.
of doing that. I'm getting really sick of doing that.
I know you're taking a break, and we call you every
Every
time.
time you record, I've got to come in here and read those stupid rules. You'd think you could just record me doing it once.
We're not that smart. Come on.
What are we, Amish? I apologize to any Amish people listening. Wait,
I'm sure there are many.
I used to have a bumper sticker on my car that said "Honk if you're Amish."
All right. Hey, it's time for the coin flip, a 50-50 warm-up question worth 10 points. Dan, since you are still kind of in the emeritus role, I'm going to let you actually call this coin flip in the air. So give me a heads or tails.
It's a quarter.
Heads or tails?
Oh, tails.
It's heads.
Of course it is.
Woohoo!
I was right in the first place. It's a quarter.
You were
We'll
correct.
take heads.
It was a quarter. So, Manzier, you guys will get to take a shot at the coin flip question.
It's a holder, David.
Which this one, actually, the old guys might have been able to answer, but we'll see. Which late great coach had a better winning percentage? Bobby Bowden or John Madden?
I know that Madden had a crazy high, because he was only coach for 11 years or so.
he only lost like 30 games, 39 games, I want to say.
Bobby Bowden had to have had a few clunkers in there, a couple seasons where they were below 500 or didn't do all that great.
His is like, he's 350 something wins.
So in order for him, okay, so if Madden only lost 30 some over 11 years, so 14, 15, so he had to win 120-ish. So 120 and 30 or something.
He would have to hit 120. I don't think he hit
Isn't that right?
I'm
Well,
not
so if he lost 30 some, right, that would only be like 3 a year
okay.
over 11 years, right?
It was like 37. I just remember seeing this on the news yesterday. It was like
So then he would have had to have had like 12, anywhere from 10 to 11 wins a year. So that times 11 times 11, right?
You're killing me with this math.
Well, isn't that right though?
Remember, this is only meant to be a couple of minutes. Coin flip.
Let's just say, what do you want to say?
Let's say Madden.
Yep.
All
We're
right.
checking in with Madden.
Okay, let's start with Bobby Bowden. Had a record of 357, 124, and 4 for a winning percentage of 740. And John Madden had a record of 103, 32, and 7 for a winning percentage of 759. So the correct answer is John Madden.
Why did you mute me?
I accidentally muted you when I burped.
Right.
I was wondering why you gave this look like you got the question right. You're giving this
oops, I accidentally muted Eric.
Yeah, I was saying, I heard your burp loud and clear. I'm like, what's going on? Why is it asking to unmute me?
So, Manzier, you will be receiving the 10 points because, yes, the correct answer was John Madden. I was impressed because it was pretty close, and I would have, for a college coach, a 740 is a pretty darn good winning percentage. That's not a lot of losses every year either. So
that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
I would just think inherently a dominant college coach would have a better winning percentage than a pro coach just because it levels out over time. But like I would have clearly gotten that one wrong. So,
I mean, over time though, but you figure Madden didn't really go over time.
He didn't go over time. That's exactly.
He has the highest winning percentage for any coach who won at least 100 games. So obviously there's others who have won well more than 100 games, but then also had more losses. So he had a short, but
it's funny because they showed his record on ESPN, and it's like he had like something like to me an insane amount of ties. I want to say it was over like 5 or 6. I'm like, what
7.
is? Yeah,
John Madden had 7 ties.
Really?
Yeah.
7 ties.
Well, he
I have a lot of
be on camera all the time like that.
I have a lot of bow ties. I was just.
Oh, Matt, Dan stole your
yeah.
So
close.
All right. Well, let's move on to today's first half, which will be pre and post game.
Pre and post game. For this quarter, there will be 4 before and after style questions. For example, if I said, What all-time leader in receptions for the Indianapolis Colts was a Notre Dame safety drafted by the Minnesota Vikings? The answer would be Marvin Harrison Smith. Each question is worth 25 points. So we need to know 2 answers instead of 1. Off to a wonderful start.
Some of these are not that difficult.
John Mad Dennis Green.
Neither current.
Question 1. What Canadian singer-songwriter performed the halftime show for Super Bowl 55 and was simultaneously in the, quote, home team's locker room during said performance?
Oh, got it. Okay. And no, don't.
Do you have an answer?
No. I just misread part of the question, which now sent now I have to start over again. So I apologize.
Well, I'm not going to start the time over just to let you know.
No, I know. I know
that.
that.
Reset doesn't mean
I'm an idiot.
David, I'm an idiot.
Sure, I'm an idiot, but I'm not the one that muted someone else after I burped. So let's be clear.
We're going to check it.
Okay, Manzier has checked in, so you can talk it out. Guess what? You can talk it out.
Excellent. I love that.
Okay, so it's
yeah.
the weekend.
Right.
No, it's not. It's actually Wednesday.
So we were trying to come up. We came to weekend within seconds, and assuming it's not.
I'm actually working for.
Maybe we get the weekend update. How about that? The weekend update. So we're trying to come up with anybody whose name sounds even remotely like. And the thing that Dan sort of pointed out to me that I read right past was that Josh had written the question as home team is in quotes. Tampa was, of course, at home, but they weren't the home team. It was Kansas City. So it had to be somebody around the Chiefs. I can't come up with any names that sound like and then what Dan just sent over was the week Andy Reid, which
is a stretch.
But it's closer than
than anything else I have.
And I can't say for sure that I'm
the
trying
week
to think.
And Tyrann Mathieu.
No, that doesn't. No, if we're gonna go with that, we might as well go with Andy Reid. I mean, I'm not going to come up. I'm not going to get deep enough with the Chiefs that I'm going to figure this out. So I think we go with weekend Reid.
It's either that or it's the weekend Sammy Watkins.
Like the strong end and the weekend. Is that?
Yes.
Is that we're going to?
Do you want all of those answers? I'll let you have them all.
Oh boy, that's not good.
Well, then let's go with the weekendy Reid. We can make a case for that.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, okay. Let's do it. We'll check in with the weekendy Reid.
Okay, and Manzier, what did you guys come up with?
We were looking at the other team. First, I thought maybe it was somebody with the name Kendall, but then there's nobody. Then I started going player that I know on the Bucks, and I stumbled upon Ndamukong Suh. So we said the week Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, wait a minute. The Chiefs were the...
One team will be receiving points. The correct answer is the week Ndamukong Suh.
Chiefs were the home team.
They were not. It was pure coincidence that Tampa was home team in their home stadium. It just so happened that in the rotation of every other year, the NFC was the home team.
Okay, then I'm not remembering correctly, obviously. This is great news for us.
The weekend song Blinding Lights is featured on the soundtrack for NBA 2K21. And Sue would finish the Super Bowl with 1.5 sacks. So I put it in quotes because just because they were playing at home didn't mean they were the home team, but they were the home team. Ooh.
1.5 sacks is almost the amount of Super Bowl rings that LaShawn McCoy has. But also
having not played,
but also more plays than he played in any Super Bowl. Or wait, did he play for the Eagles in one of them? Maybe, I don't know.
But not in one that he won.
Yes, correct.
All right. Let's try question 2, maybe?
We're answering the weekendy read for this one too.
No matter what.
Okay. Question 2. What tennis player denied Novak Djokovic a calendar Grand Slam by defeating him at the U.S. Open and led his team to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1993?
Is that right?
Absolutely.
We'll check in.
Wait. This doesn't sound right.
I know, right?
You Can Talk It Out is checked in. Manzier,
Wait a
you
minute.
guys can talk it out.
So the guy who beat Djokovic at the U.S. Open, I think his name is Medvedev. So
Daniil Medvedev.
So Devin,
Booker, right?
I don't know who Devin Booker plays for.
The Suns.
Okay.
And the Suns were in the finals in '93.
So what was Medvedev's first name?
Daniil Medvedev and Booker.
Is that what you're checking in with?
Sure are.
All right, I'm not going to make you repeat it again. And You Can Talk It Out. What did you guys have?
Yeah, it was Daniil Medvedev, Devin Booker. I wouldn't have gotten Devin Booker had it not been for Medvedev, though. So Daniil Medvedev and Booker.
Both teams will be getting points. The correct answer is, in fact, Daniil Medvedev and Booker. Daniil is currently ranked number 2 in the world, which is his career high singles ranking, first achieved on March 15th. And Booker averaged 25.6 points per game during the 2020-21 season. So look at that. You Can Talk It Out. You guys are on the board. Getting some points. I'm not as confident for you for this one, but let's see how it goes. Question 3. In week 16 of the NFL season, what second-year quarterback set his franchise's record for passing yards in one game and was selected first overall in the NHL entry draft by the Buffalo Sabres?
We can check him.
That's not a surprise that Manzier can check in, so you can talk it out. Guess
Do you want to
what?
know what it is, Matt?
You can talk it out.
Well, I know the first part, but I don't know the second part. So
Even if we figure out who the first part is on this, I don't think there's any chance in the world I'm coming up with the hockey player, unless you know it.
Wait a minute. The first pick in the NHL draft, I feel like selected first overall, and it's the Buffalo Sabres. Wait, hang on a second. It was the guy. Okay, so first of all, the first part is Joe Burrow, to be clear. I know that for sure.
Oh, yeah. I was following him at the game.
I'm all ears
that
to
was
hear
it.
this explanation of how David can figure this out. Go.
Hold on a second. Owen. It's something. Owen something. He went to Michigan. I only vaguely. My wife went to University of Michigan, and my sister went to University of Michigan. Wait a minute. It's Owen.
if we talk a lot, he'll have to take the headphones off, and then he'll have went into
Owen
the man
Sound.
cave
Burrow.
without Dan's
Dan might let him
permission.
in today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If we keep on
you can use the
talking
mind.
right
You
now.
can use the mind palace as much as you want.
So-
Hey,
today,
I'm
Dave.
outta here.
He's gonna-
They're sharing the loft together.
Today he has a free pass.
What's the theme song to Bosom Buddies? Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, ding,
No, that dude's dead.
dun, 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 dun,
Wait, I
dun.
got it. I got it.
What are the lyrics? Come on, help me out here.
I think it's Burrow and Power. Owen Power, maybe? Does that sound right? It's some name like that.
I
It's
have no idea whether that sounds right or not, but that's an awesome name.
Joe Burrow and Power.
Sure. Go with it.
All right, we'll check in. We got nothing to lose. We're not gonna.
All right, and Manzier, do you want to let him know if they're correct or not?
Yeah, anticlimactic. It's Joe Burrow win power.
Both teams will be getting points. The correct answer is Joe Burrow in power. Joe completed 37 of 46 passes for 525 yards, while also throwing 4 touchdowns without an interception for a career high 143.2 passer rating in the 41 to 21 win over the Baltimore Ravens. And Power elected to return to Michigan for his sophomore season, becoming the first number 1 overall pick to play college hockey since Eric Johnson in 2006.
No, I know him.
I know him too.
Yeah, me too. Matt knows him too. He went to the U.
I mean, I know the name, but I don't know him. I thought you guys made
Well,
it sound as if like you knew him. I'm like,
I don't think any of
that
us
guy.
actually know him.
He's got some concussion issues going on.
Chances
He's back this
are,
year.
if you grew up in Minnesota, you probably know a dude named Eric Johnson.
You
Well,
think?
that's actually probably
the
true.
49ers tight end.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
See, there's
So
David.
is Joe Burrow like? Is this his coming out party? Is that what that was, or is this just like a flash in the pan? I don't know. I'm not sold on him yet, but whatever.
I don't know if I'm sold on him, but I don't think he's. I think he's
He
got.
he torched the Ravens before, so I don't know.
I mean, I think he's good. Is he great? I think this time will tell on that.
He's not 575 yards great. That we know for sure.
Never forget that Case Keenum had better numbers than Brett Favre did at one point in his career. Never forget.
All right, let's move
Case
on to
Keenum.
question 4.
Exactly.
What American League player was named All-Star Game MVP and is a former UFC heavyweight champion who made his AEW debut on October 15th?
Either one, so we're gonna have to figure that out.
Okay.
We can check in.
I should be able to
Damn
get
it.
this.
I was just gonna type out the one part of it that I thought I knew.
Okay, I have it. I have it.
Do you want to share before? Or
Yes,
you're gonna,
yes.
Are you
yes.
gonna eat this? Oh wait, are they checked in?
Nobody's
they are.
officially checked in.
Yeah, we're checked.
Oh,
in.
okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Now Manzier is checked in, so you can talk it out. You can talk it out.
I've heard of that
just
person.
started. I
Yeah.
just started watching AEW about 3-4 weeks ago. I had to go through their roster and try to see if I could come up with this. They've got an entire stable of guys that have been all like UFC or mixed martial arts guys. Yeah, it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. dos Santos.
Checking that in.
Oh yes,
Yes,
we'll check that in. I like that. Definitely like
All
the
right.
first half. Second half sounds good. So yes, we'll check in.
All right, and Manzier, what do you guys have?
We have the same thing. Vlad Guerrero Jr. dos Santos.
Both teams will be getting points. Correct answer is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. dos Santos. Vlad was tied with Salvador Perez for Major League Baseball home run leader for the 2021 season with 48. And Dos Santos's appearance was capped off by an exchange with current belter heavyweight Jake Hager, who picked Dos Santos up and slammed him through a table outside of the ring.
And Dos Santos means two Santos.
And that is your Spanish lesson for the day.
Yeah. That works for Christmas and then Boxing Day. You get Dos Santos.
Oh, man.
All right. So after the first half, now, Dan, keep this in mind. There's only 2 halves of this year in review. Last year, it was a whole game.
Yeah.
So at least you only have this much. But anyway, after the first half, we had the following scores. You can talk it out is at 75, and Manzier is at 110.
Ever since we came up with this name, David, I'm thinking Beatles every time he says you can talk it out.
That's awesome.
Can we
That
put
brings us-
we can work it out over the over every time he says that, Matt?
Talk it out.
That brings us to halftime.
It's now time for the halftime show. There will be 3 entertainment questions pertaining to sports, with each question worth 20 points. Hey, maybe it'll be a Beatles question here.
Yeah, I heard
And
they're still
what-
kicking.
Like last year's
Two
year
of
in
them are.
review, today's halftime will also be an in memorandum.
In Miranda.
In
Aaron,
In memoriam.
Memorandum?
Let's try this
Wait.
again.
Aaron Miranda
Beep,
from
beep. Back it up.
Happy Days.
As it was in the 2020 year in review, the halftime will be in memoriam edition.
I know her.
never been in her though.
Question 1.
Whoa!
I was just gonna let that one go.
This is going to the main feed.
No,
He's
it's
just
not.
stating
It's
the
not.
truth.
Patreon
No, it's
feed.
not.
not.
We can
can't
say whatever
remember
we
goes
want.
where. This is what happens when I.
Dan, since none of you are going to get us any new listeners, we're not going to put this out on the main feed.
Yeah, Dan,
Who are you guys.
we got bigwig David Lux on here. It's got to get to the main feed.
All right. Question
Just
one.
a simple farm boy.
On January 22nd, we lost Hammer and Hank Aaron. In the 1980s, Hank had cameos on two sitcoms. One that was set in a city where he played, and the other was set in a city where the person who broke his home run record played. Name one of these sitcoms.
Oh.
If you can name both, you will receive an additional 10 points.
Josh, we can check in.
Okay, Manzier has checked in, so you can talk it out. You guys can talk it out.
Okay, so I'm absolutely positive one of the answers is Happy Days. I didn't actually need the Milwaukee clue, but I remember he was on, and it was a whole thing with Howard Cunningham had a hardware store. I was a Happy Days junkie as a kid. He had a hardware store, and they actually brought on, quote unquote, local celebrity Hank Aaron to do a commercial for him. So it's absolutely Hank Aaron. So it's absolutely Happy Days is the first one. Now, the second clue about a person broke his home run record played. Oh, wait a minute.
Where he played.
Where he played is Pittsburgh. And you know what? Okay, so it's obviously Barry Bonds. I was originally
I think
going
I know where you're
Francisco,
going with this.
and I think it's in Pittsburgh, and I have a theory on what the show is.
I
but
think I may have the same theory that you do.
I think it's Mr. Belvedere.
I do too.
Yes. Okay.
I do
Are we
too.
going?
Bob, it was Bob Euchre's connection.
Yeah, I'm sure that makes perfect sense. But I'm so convinced now because it's the Pittsburgh thing that I was totally thrown by because I'm like the only show I can remember that was in San Francisco, other than Monk, which wasn't a sitcom and it was too late for him, would have been Full House, and that probably would have been too late for him. And
would have been what's it called? Was there too? The one with Jim J. Bullock.
Too Close for Comfort.
Too Close for Comfort was in San Francisco as well. But
okay, that was an annoying show, or at least he was an annoying guy. Okay, so are we going to go with? Is there anything else you could think of that was in Pittsburgh? Because I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Belvedere. I
think the fact that we both thought of that,
yeah, I agree.
Means we should go with it.
Yep. Okay, we're going to check in with Happy Days to be clear, and then I guess our bonus answer will be Mr. Belvedere if we have to specify.
Yes, please specify. And Manzier, what did you guys have?
Me?
You can give your part and I'll give mine because we got that
All
by
right.
accident.
Yeah, the Happy Days was pretty easy. Mr. Cunningham actually wanted to be a professional umpire. Remember that one episode where he talked about his dreams and wanted to make it to the big leagues as an umpire. Like, okay. Anyway, so yeah, Happy Days was what we're checking in with, and then the bonus.
So I thought we first thought Full House because San Francisco, and then for some reason I thought Mr. Belvedere was in San Francisco too. I don't know why that crossed. Maybe it's because I watched Mr. Belvedere. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know how we got there, but we said Mr. Belvedere.
Shenanigans.
Both teams will be getting full points for this one. The correct answers were Happy Days, based in Milwaukee, and Mr. Belvedere, based in Pittsburgh. His Happy Days cameo was in 1980, and his Mr. Belvedere cameo was in 1989. Hank also had a cameo in a 1987 episode of MacGyver.
Of course he did. What just happened?
Wait, he had a cameo in MacGyver. I'm trying to figure this out. So MacGyver's like caught in a room, and he's got a paperclip, a stick of gum, and Hank Aaron. How's he going to get out?
I didn't really read into what that one was. I just
He's got a baseball bat and a hammer, because he's Hammer and Hank. Right?
How in the world did you get that Mr. Belvedere first of all that came up with Mr. Belvedere, and second that it took place in San Francisco?
Well, I had a theory about Mr. Belvedere originally because that's Bob Euchre, but then
Isn't
Bob Euchre?
yeah,
he's
I
on
don't
the
remember.
show.
he was the
play Mr.
father.
Belvedere.
He was the.
But I didn't know.
family
I didn't
father.
know where it happened at, and then Eric said, "Oh, that's in San Francisco." And I'm like, "It is? Okay, sure."
I thought it was.
Well, it worked
I guess
out
not.
for you.
I
was in the
could have
other
swore it
town,
was.
though.
I could have swore it was San Francisco.
No, it was in the other town that
All right.
Barry Bonds played in. So, all right, let's move on to question 2. in the halftime. On June 13th, we lost the one-time Oscar nominee who portrayed the warden in He Got Game and the father of the titular character in the movie Rudy. Name this actor.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
We can check in. We can check in.
Or you can talk it out as checked in. So, Manzier, you guys can talk it out.
I got nothing for you. I know. I agree with everything you said. I believe it was a Polish last name, but I can see his face. Very punchable face in Rudy.
Well, he's dead now, so you can punch him. That's the way it works on this show.
So I remember when he passed away, because we always do this. Like when we do it, it's always a kind of like a race, both between my wife and I, and between a bunch of different people about calling out who dies first, kind of a deal. You know, it's whatever. It's morbid, but whatever.
That's why you're always the first one on our chat.
He wants to be breaking news. I want to ruin everybody's day and tell them John Madden's dead.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it. Anyway, point is that I remember him. Oh, Prosky.
No, that's not it. Robert Prosky is the old man from the old man from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, okay.
And Mr. Belvedere.
And by the way, Mrs. Doubtfire took place in San Francisco.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right next door to Mrs. Belvedere.
I thought a lot of that stuff took place there.
Wait, no. Actually, it's Ned Beatty. Come on. Yeah.
Sure. I now that you even say the name, it didn't even click, so go with it.
Yeah, Ned Beatty. It's Ned Beatty. What am I thinking of?
Okay, and you can talk it out. What did you guys have for an answer?
We had Ned Beatty. We were hoping that we might close the gap a little bit with this one. I immediately texted Dan and I said, it was the guy that was Lex Luthor's sidekick in the Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. He was Otis, I think was his name. And yes, it's Ned Beatty.
Both teams, again, will be receiving points. The correct answer is Ned Beatty. His Oscar nomination was for his supporting role in 1976's Net.
Deliverance.
He didn't get an Oscar nomination for Deliverance.
He also didn't make it down the river.
Was he the one with the pretty face?
You thinking about the same Ned Beatty I am?
No, he was in Network. That was I'm mad as hell and I'm not gonna take it anymore. That was yeah.
That wasn't him though.
No, it was not him. But he was in the movie.
All right. Question 3, the final question in our halftime round. On September 6th, we lost the actor who voiced Archie Baldwin in the NBA 2K21 video game, but he is better known for his roles in 2 crime drama television series. Name this actor.
We can check in.
Enzier has checked in, so you can talk it out. You can talk it out.
Jeez, we are just...
Yeah, it's crazy, Dan.
Yeah.
Sorry. So Dan and I were just throwing around we sort of have a beat on the guy. We're pretty sure he was in The Wire and Boardwalk Empire. And then before Josh said we could talk it out, I said to Dan, could we get away with just the last name? Because that's how much I have. And Dan has the same thing. So we're both thinking it's Williams and we're blanking on his first name, but maybe we could try a little bit to come up with it or try to get away with the last name.
I think it's Michael, but let's just go with Williams.
Yeah.
If we can get away with just the last name, we're not saying a first name.
Michael actually sounds right, but I feel like he's one of these guys who used to be like an initial guy, like a Michael B. Jordan. But I don't know.
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, exactly. All right, we're going to check in with Williams.
Okay, and Manzier, what did you guys have?
So I think he used his initial just to get away from the Detroit Lions wide receiver, Mike Williams. He wouldn't, probably not. Michael K. Williams.
Both teams will be getting points. The correct answer is Michael K. Williams. You are correct, David. He was best known for playing Omar Little in The Wire and Albert Chalky White on Boardwalk Empire. So you had the 2 shows correct. And in the end, you had it. My guess is has Michael K. Williams because there's some other actor in the Screen Actors Guild would be my guess who's Michael Williams.
Nope. Detroit Lions wide receiver. He's like, that bust. I got to use my initial now. Awesome.
So it's Michael Williams.
Yes.
Michael Williams.
Or just Quilliams.
Or just
Oh.
Williams. All right, after halftime,
Goes by
we have the
Quilly.
following score. It's higher scores, but the difference has stayed the same because both teams swept that halftime. You Can Talk It Out as 160 and Manzier has 195. So now on to the second half.
We'd like to take a minute to invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at BenchwarmersTP. We also have a Facebook group for fans of the pod called The Bench. Join us there to comment on the latest episodes and share cool sports facts and trivia. If you'd be willing to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher, we'd greatly appreciate the support so that other people may find this podcast. Thanks.
And it's good news, maybe, for You Can Talk It Out, because today's second half will be Lucky 7.
Lucky 7. For this quarter, there will be 3 lists containing 7 items. The team that is trailing coming into the quarter will choose the first list and attempt to identify the items on this list one at a time. If the team has an incorrect guess, the other team can attempt to finish that list out. The team leading at the beginning of the quarter will select the second list, and whichever team is trailing after the first 2 lists will get the third list. Each item is worth 10 points. Oh, I thought you were going to say something completely different than that.
I was hoping he was going to land a missing link right now.
That's exactly what I thought he was.
Well,
Fill the
that's
gaps.
not where I went, but I think at least one of these you guys should do well on, or Dan at least should do well on. But here are the 3 possible lists for you to choose from. List number 1, because we all took an affinity for Australian rules football, I would like you to list the AFL Final Series qualifiers not named the Melbourne Demons.
I'm out of here.
List number 2, the current official world golf rankings top 7. And list 3, Major League Baseball earned run average leaders for the 2021 season.
Thank you, Fantasy Baseball.
Choose, right?
You get to choose first because you are currently trailing. So
David, we can take the AFL one. I'm positive on that.
Oh, you mean you positive like you can run them?
Yeah.
All right. So You Can Talk It Out. You guys are going to go with list number 1, the AFL Final Series qualifiers, not named the Melbourne Demons.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I'm ready to go, David. If you want me to give them to you, I can do that.
I you know what? I'm already trusting you, and I'm working on my list for the other 2.
Okay. Sounds good.
So have at it.
All right. I can check in.
Okay. Why don't you start giving me your answers, and I will let you know if they are correct or not.
All right. Well, you took away my team.
I did.
The Western Bulldogs were there.
They were the 4th ranked team, correct?
Matt's Geelong Cats were there.
They were the number 2 seed, or actually they were number 3. Western was 5 because Melbourne was the number 1 seed going in.
The Port Adelaide Power.
They were the number 2 seed.
Brisbane.
They were the number 4 seed.
Sydney Swans were there.
They were the number 6 seed.
And then Josh, you had 2 teams in the final 8. You had your original team of Giants, the GW Giants, and your adopted team after 5 games of Essendon.
Dan, you have successfully run that list.
Shocker.
You have named all 7 of the other qualifiers for the final series. And yes, 2 of my teams made it, and 1 even made it past the first games. But not my Essendon Bombers. Okay, Manzier, I'm sure we're all going to be surprised when you let me know which list you guys are going to go after.
I'm good with the golf, but I know you're going to be better with the baseball, which I'm also fine with. Or
They're
we go again.
probably
We
going to
don't
be
think.
weaker with the golf, don't you think?
I would assume so. Yeah.
So does that mean we should go with baseball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys are going to go with the Major League Baseball earned run average leaders.
Yes.
Okay. Take some time and come up with your list.
All right, we're ready.
All right. Let me know your answers, and I'll let you know if they are correct.
All right. So, was it Corbin Burns?
Corbin Burns led the major leagues with a 2.43 ERA.
Was that other guy Walker Bueller?
Walker Bueller was third with a 2.47 ERA.
The new Seattle Mariner, Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray is seventh with a 2.84 ERA.
Kevin Gausman.
Kevin Gausman is number 6 with a 2.81 ERA.
Max Scherzer.
Max Scherzer was number 2 with a 2.46 ERA.
Who am I missing? Brandon Woodruff. Sorry.
Brandon Woodruff is 4th with a 2.56 ERA.
And Zach Wheeler.
And you have successfully run the list because Zach Wheeler was 5th with a 2.78 ERA. Well done, Manzier.
I would not have known that if I did not join a fantasy baseball league last year.
So with that, you can talk it out is once again trailing. So you guys will get the third final list, which is the current official world golf rankings top 7.
And I joined a fantasy baseball league last year. This year I'm joined a Stratomatic league. So old timey baseball is no longer in my blind spot.
Well, we'll
Damn
see.
it.
I'm a big fan of Heavy Johnson. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So
You like Heavy Johnson.
I'm waiting for Heavy Johnson to have a big year. Hopefully he can really extend
David, you had 6 of those.
I know, but I didn't have
Johnsons?
this. Yeah.
He did say
he had 6 Heavy Johnsons.
Sorry, we're already okay.
Not at once.
No.
In
In memoriam.
all right. Okay. Show me what you got.
in memorandum. Sorry.
Oh, all right. In Miranda. All right, got it.
Oh,
6 Heavy
that's
Johnsons
funny.
in Miranda. Got it. Put that episode title. Mark it down.
nope, that is not going to be
Lock
the
it up.
title. Nope.
Lock it down.
All right. I think we will check in.
All right. Well, when you're ready, start giving me your list. I'll let you know if they are in the top 7 world golf ranking.
Okay. John Rahm.
John Rahm is ranked number 1.
I think I should be safe and go just last names here. Johnson.
Actually, I
Heavy.
need you to be more specific
Heavy Johnson.
on this one.
I'm going to go with Dustin Johnson.
Dustin Johnson is number 3. Most
Thomas?
last names
Sorry.
I would.
Thomas.
I don't think there's more than one on the tour, so Justin Thomas is number 6.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you're not going to ask me for a first name for this, but DeChambeau.
No,
I
we
would
need
like
a first name,
on
on
that
that
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7 is Bryson DeChambeau.
The French guy.
Okay.
He looks like a Bryson.
Okay, so forgive my pronunciation, but Shuffle? I don't know what the language of origin is. Although I think he's American. You want me to give you? I can give you some kind of spelling because I might be better with that.
It's more like shuffle.
Chevrolet. Yeah, it's like
All right, I'll give it to you.
SCHAUFFELE or
It's
You have to make sure
it's
that you
Xander-
fold. You have to
Xander
fold it nice and tight for your
Schauffele.
shuffle. So
Xander
Schauffele, okay.
Schauffele
okay.
is number
okay.
5.
Okay. And number 6, I think Cal grad Colin Morikawa.
Colin Morikawa is number 2 in the rankings.
Wow. Okay, then I'm pretty sure this is where the wheels come off, but I think we agreed to guess Hovland next.
Victor Hovland is ranked number 9.
Oh, respectable, but okay.
So there is one. The 4th ranked golfer in the world is available for Manzier to try and come up with.
Right. Yeah.
Matt,
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's McElroy, right? No. I got three names. I got Jordan Spieth, I got Rory McIlroy, and I got Patrick Cantlay.
Wait, no. Jordan Spieth? No,
Yeah.
I don't think he's up there.
I don't think so either.
What were the other two names?
McIlroy and Patrick Cantlay.
Oh, the Cantlay. Here's my thought process. I've heard of Jordan Spieth and McIlroy. I've never heard of Cantlay.
Cantley or Lay. It's one of those.
I've never heard of that guy, so that makes me think that's probably the person.
That's who I was leaning towards. I just wasn't. I don't remember McIlroy doing anything.
Unanswered.
Love it.
Never heard of him.
Right. We're gonna go with Patrick Cantlay.
Well, just to let you know, you were thinking Rory McIlroy. Good thing you didn't go with him because he's number 8 in the rankings. And number 4 is, in fact, Patrick Cantlay.
And I'm sorry.
That's no, it's what I said. I said it's a guy named, it's his name, first name is Patrick, but I couldn't come up with the name, and I wasn't going to give that information up. So
At first, I thought you were going with that. You couldn't come up with Xander's. I was like, oh, is he talking about Xander? Because then couldn't come up with Shuffle.
Yeah, that's my fault.
Where was Louis Oosthuizen?
Louis Oosthuizen is 10th. And anyone after that, I don't have. I only have the top 10. Not in the top 10. Okay, well, after the second half, we have the following scores. Manzier has 275, and with the lucky 7, you can talk it out, has taken a lead at 290. So 290 to 275.
Shenanigans.
I figured there was going to be a formal complaint lodged by Mr. Eric Eade. And what I have to say to you is, too bad, so sad. I've lost. You haven't even lost yet, and you're putting in a complaint.
Eric, you know what? You could have been smart like us and tanked it early to have a chance
at
2 questions.
All
right.
That coin toss. Yeah.
That's right. Should have been called the coin.
That brings us to extra.
This final round will consist of 3 categorized questions that teams will wager up to 100 points each, not to exceed their current point total.
The categories for today are as follows. Question 1, 2020. Question 2, 1. Question 3, Happy New Year. So 2020 is in reference to the Summer Olympics because, as Eric Eade pointed out on a previous episode, technically it was still the 2020 Olympics, even though they took place in 2021. 1 is in reference to the NFL, and Happy New Year is in reference to college football. It is now time for the teams to place their wagers. Now that the wagers are in, on to the questions. Question 1 in the category of 2020. What American men's freestyle wrestler won the gold medal in the 125 kilogram event by scoring 2 takedowns in the final 10 seconds of the match, with the second coming with half a second left?
We can check in.
You Can Talk It Out is not going to talk it out because they have checked in. So Manzier, you guys can talk it out.
Why am I spacing on his name? Did you send it over?
I did not. Men's freestyle 125 is crap. What the hell?
Was the kid from Minnesota? Who's Gable
Stevenson?
Yeah, but it's his last name.
Stevenson?
Yeah, it's weird. Stevison. ST like EVESON or something like that. That's
it looks like Stevenson, but it's not pronounced that way, right? Something like that.
You're right. So we Gable, right? So they already checked in, right? So we're checking in with Gable Stevenson for 75 points.
Okay, and You Can Talk It Out. What did you guys have for an answer and a wager?
Yeah, it's University of Minnesota's Gable Stevenson. Stevison, who just got signed by WWE, by the way. So I don't know if that's your flavor text. Probably isn't, but
It might be part of it. But
no, okay.
We'll get there.
For 100.
Both teams will be receiving their points. The correct answer is Gable Stevenson. And I'm glad you didn't check in with Stevenson, because I would have not been able to give you those points, because that is not his name. Stevenson became the first American super heavyweight to win freestyle Olympic gold since Bruce Baumgartner in 1992. And in September, it was announced that despite Stevenson's signing with WWE, he would return to the University of Minnesota to wrestle under a name, image, and likeness deal, since that's allowed now.
Nice.
So after the first question, Manzier is up to 350, and You Can Talk It Out is up to 390. Question 2 in the category of 1. With the rule change in regard to jersey numbers, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, linebackers, and defensive backs could now wear jersey number 1. What 2 first-round draft picks took advantage of this rule change and chose number 1 for their jersey numbers?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Josh, we can check in.
Well, now Manzier has checked in.
Oh, I know who that
So
was.
You can talk it out. You guys can talk it out.
Thank you.
Are you're pretty sure on Jamar Chase?
I am.
I'm pretty sure Justin Fields wears one.
Yeah, I was just running through the quarterbacks because that would make sense. It's not Trevor Lawrence. He's in the teens. Zach Wilson is a low single digit, but not 1. Trey Lance, I want to say, wears number 5. And so if it's a quarterback, I think Justin Fields might be right.
I'm pretty sure he does wear number 1.
Okay, then why don't we check in with that? Jamar Chase and Justin Fields. Yeah, good?
Yeah, for 81 points.
Okay. And Manzier, what did you guys have for an answer, and how much did you wager?
Yeah, he had Jamar Chase right off the bat, and I started thinking of quarterbacks too, and we said Fields also. So, and we checked him with that, Fields and Chase for 100 points.
Well, unfortunately, neither of you read the question. Neither teams read the question clear enough, because while quarterbacks have always been able to wear number 1, they didn't get to take advantage of the rule change because they could always wear number 1.
Oh,
Boo.
man. I just needed that.
So the correct answers are Jamar Chase and Travis Etienne.
He didn't wear number 1.
He has
died.
number 1 as his.
He died.
He did not die. He through. So let's get to my flavor text. And we'll
I say you, he dead.
He not dead. His knee might, no, his foot might be dead, but he's not dead. So through 15 games, Chase has eclipsed 1,100 receiving yards and has caught 10 touchdowns. Etienne, on the other hand, suffered a Liz Frank injury during the Jaguars' second preseason game, so he has worn the number 1
and died
twice, and was subsequently placed on season-ending injury reserve.
Right there.
So he
He's
might
dead.
be dead to you, Eric.
So that's
But
all
he
that
is not
matters.
dead.
In this house that I'm in right now, is the only thing that matters is what I think. Dead.
So unfortunately, there were 2 who actually were able to take advantage of the rule change. Quarterbacks could always wear number 1, along with kickers and punters. That I explained pretty clearly what position.
You know I don't read questions.
That's fairly well established.
That is not my
know
fault
what?
or my problem.
All right. I'm making sure that the missing
Exactly.
link I just came up with
Yeah,
that I
just
told
wait.
Matt about.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's happening.
It's all right.
Oh,
you don't ever seem to be on the recordings I'm on, so I.
I'm making sure now.
Yeah, I just intentionally.
That's right. I'm
Because
not
Matt
sure
can't be on it.
I'm not sure I could ever get yours, like the Oreo Racing League or.
Oh,
whatever.
you'll think you have this one, and then I'm gonna pull the rug right out from underneath you.
I
You're
can't believe
giving
I
me
just.
way too much credit. Eric, way too much credit.
All right.
Like
All right,
four
after the
weddings
I
second
can't wait now.
question-
Funeral.
After the second question, then neither team got points, but Manzier lost more. You Can Talk It Out is at 309 and Manzier is at 250. And it probably all comes down to this Anyway.
Before you go on, I just want to establish this. So you're saying that I'm not complaining. I'm just actually clarifying because I didn't know what the rule was. You're saying before this, quarterbacks could always wear number one because like Warren Moon wore number one, Cam Newton wore number one.
Yes, before the change, quarterbacks, punters, and kickers could wear number one.
Could wear number one.
No other position could wear number one.
See, here's the infuriating part. David just asked that question, and then he's going to answer all these questions correctly. After asking a question like that is a very
You made a very naive question, you're saying?
It's just like quarterback. You know the quarterback's war number one.
Of course I did, but that I was trying to understand. No, I was using those as examples because I didn't quite.
If you look back at the text,
obviously.
I said, with the rule change regarding the jersey numbers, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, linebackers, and defensive backs could now wear number one.
I know what he's doing. He's leaning into the
yes,
I don't know anything about sports.
He's just a super farm boy.
I'm just surprised that one of the answers wasn't Al Leiter.
Oh, geez.
He's not that far into his beverage yet.
You know what? Question number 3 is still coming
up.
Wait, so this is happy. This is Happy Gilmore.
Bitter party of one.
I hold grudges.
You even still won that game. If it had cost you,
I don't even remember.
I don't even remember points.
I just remembered being right.
But you weren't. You were, but you weren't. Anyway, let's get to this last question, which has nothing to do with ATL.
Or Al Leiter.
Or does it?
Yeah, I was going to say, is this a Georgia Tech question?
Peach Bowl?
You can say his son was drafted in the Major League this wasn't a Major League Baseball question. So, all right, question 3 in the category of Happy New Year. On January 1st, 2021, what quarterback threw for 400 yards in the Sugar Bowl, one of the college football playoff semifinals?
Yeah, we can check in.
Okay, you can talk it out. Has checked in. Manzier, you guys can talk it out and give me your answer and your wager.
Yeah, they basically had to air it out the rest of the game after I think they were down like 35-14 at the half. So
Trevor Lawrence
just started throwing it. I mean, he didn't get a lot of touchdowns or anything like that, but he finished with over 400. I don't think Fields was close, but I don't think he hit it.
It'd be funny if it was Fields after we just got Fields wrong in the previous answer.
If Fields gets you wrong twice in a row, that would be great. Wouldn't it just be great?
All right, I'm fairly confident. So if you're good.
Mm-hmm.
You right there, Matt?
No, I was writing down the answer. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence for 100 points. I would love some beer. I'm empty right now. It's not clear, though. My glass is clear.
How do we know there's not clear beer in there? All right, and you can talk it out. What did you guys have for an answer and a wager?
When I moved to North Carolina, after a couple of years being here, I decided I needed to adopt an ACC team. And Clemson was the team that I adopted. And I remember Trevor Lawrence putting up huge numbers in that game and still amounting to nothing. So, yeah, the answer is Trevor Lawrence for 80 points.
Well, both teams will be getting their points. You didn't fall for the thought that Justin Fields had a huge game. The correct answer is Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence went 33 for 48 for 400 yards, throwing 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Justin Fields, his counterpart, went 22 for 28 for 385 yards. So you're right, Eric, not quite. But he threw for 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. So with that, the fast break game has come to an end, and here are the final scores. No matter what kind of protest is lodged, it will be dismissed immediately.
So not only did David, hold on, I'll save that for later.
Oh, for
great! This will be awesome. after the tail. After the trailer
Manzier goes. Finishes with a score of 350, and our little giants of the game, who are receiving the prestigious Suni Lee Award with 389 points, is you can talk it out.
Woo!
Formal protest.
Why are you protesting? Are you still
Eric should've
protesting
won.
the ATL back from?
Yes, that's what.
You won
Informal
that game.
protest.
You won that game.
Dan did his best impression of David on that. He's like, I'm not going to know anything. This is going to suck.
As your
David's
protest
like-
is with Dan.
And then David's like, what numbers do quarterbacks wear? I don't know. What's this game football that everybody's been talking about? And then,
That's not what I was saying, but okay.
I really thought that when they answered Justin Fields, I really thought that, here's where the tides turn, because somebody on that team would have read the question, and apparently not.
really?
Not you. I thought maybe your teammate would have read the question.
He's the one that fed me Justin Fields.
Oh, God. All right.
Wait, so in the end, here
We go again.
What is stymieing you about this
I
concept?
just discovered this ESPN thing.
Right?
No, I was only going to say that I feel for Eric and Matt, because did they get a question wrong all the way up through?
No, not up until the extra time.
Not until they couldn't afford to get one wrong.
It's I thought David was going to chime in. Do you guys know about this Tom Brady fella? He's been doing pretty good.
That also just points out that you missed one pre and post game, and then one answer, the same answer in the extra time. So,
Oh, right, but we also didn't get that. Right, we fell behind. early,
you
we
got
didn't get the
6
coin
out of
flip.
7. You're right. You got 6 out of 7 in the bonus third round of the
That's
lucky
right.
7. So
That's right.
So, like I was going to say earlier, not only did David need Dan to beat me, he needed
did?
extra questions.
You're not wrong. What am I supposed to say?
Extra questions.
You're not.
So that
you're
means-
not wrong.
That
What
means
extra questions did he need?
the lucky sevens.
The
He got
extra-
an
the extra
extra.
lucky-
Oh,
7.
yes, he did. He needed extra bonus points to beat you.
All right,
Oh boy,
David.
you know what?
All right,
This
David.
rivalry is just I'm just stoking the fire. I gotta
Mhm.
see where this goes.
You know, whatever beef I had with Chris Shen, gone.
How about Jake Manning?
You know what? He's getting his
going
too.
down.
You know what?
He's going down. Jake Manny's going down.
You want to know something
He's-
else? I would have been lucky to get one of the AFL teams, because I don't follow AFL at all.
Oh, that
You
would've-
will next year.
You
That
should.
Oh,
would-
sure. Now I will. Now I'll have to.
Neil
I don't
Fisher's
even know-
going to give you a team.
I don't even know what the season is. Like what part of the
March
year
starts
the
in
season.
March.
It's most of the year.
It's
Like,
March to like
it's
October, November.
Yeah, end of October, early November.
It's March to
St.
October,
Patrick.
which means wait a minute. You're saying so it's right through the summer here, which means it's right through the winter in Australia. They
Yeah.
play.
Yeah, but their winter there is like the
It's
winter
not
in
a-
North
it's
Carolina.
not-
Nobody
yeah.
cares.
Yeah.
Their
Not
winter
really
is
winter.
rain.
Clear
Clear
it's
rain.
It's
Winter.
65 degrees. I got to put sweatpants on. This is
Yeah.
Oh, some of the guys wear long sleeve shirt. Sorry,
Mo-
Guernseys.
But
No,
they
I
but they all wear the shortest of shorts.
yes.
They are 1980s NBA shorts.
Oh, they're Larry Bird
you're,
shorts.
You're like, yeah, daddy. Lucky you don't see a yam bag or two, but I don't know how they get around it.
I'm guessing that.
Yes, stuff it
I'm
back.
guessing some people noticed yam bags. I wasn't looking
Really?
for
I've
that.
never. I'm just saying. I'm lucky that I have not. I watched this with my kids.
I'm not going to say anything. Anyway, yeah.
But
Sick.
the-
When they
Neil-
kick, their leg goes like all the way up too.
yeah,
they're like Reggie Roby.
Yes.
yeah. It's
I think the last time I watched any Australian rules football was in the early days of ESPN when
Nice.
they used to play them in like, overnight hours
2
and
o'clock
stuff.
in the
And-
morning,
Oh, what-
yeah.
Right. Totally.
Oh, by the way, give me the key card back before you leave tonight.
Of course. I'll mail it to you. I'll meet you in Greensboro. I can hand it off.
I've made a copy of it.
Is there anything else you guys would like to say before we call it a night?
Every time we've got just all bench warmers on the recording, it's just so much more fun. We should not have guests anymore.
Say that. Leave that in.
Especially Sam Carr. Ugh, can't stand that guy.
I've heard he's tall.
He is a tall gentleman.
Apparently, he wears a jean jacket. I'm
Dude,
not sure we
jean
can allow
jacket?
him back
Jeez,
on.
come
again.
on.
If you have no more guests, you'll never get your shot at Jake Manny. I just want you to know that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We'll have to make him a
we'll
bench
make-
warmer.
We'll bring them on.
Gonna
We'll
make
bring
him an
'em on.
honorary
We're gonna make
member.
all of the people who ever been guests bench warmers.
We'll sign him on just so I can kick him out of here.
Well, I think you've got a ways to go here, Eric, on taking down Mr. Lux. So,
Oh no. I'm gonna start signing up for everything that I see his name on.
and usually, David, you won't get a Dan to team with.
I know.
Not that the Simple Farm Boy really needs it, because he does
Right?
just fine.
That nickname is not going away anytime soon, by the way.
All right. Well, anybody else got anything? No? Yes?
Yeah,
No?
I mean,
Yes?
well,
No?
there's no better way. Anybody looking? Was this out before New Year's or after?
Just after. It's our first
Oh,
episode
that's a
after.
shame.
And only
That's
for
a
the
shame.
Patreons.
It was
Patrons.
well. I
Patreon
mean,
patrons.
well, patrons. I mean, with any extra money, feel free to maybe for St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, get your loved one some meth. I haven't mentioned it in a while. I feel like it's went downhill.
No.
My meth stock
no.
has not went up the
That's-
way I expected it to.
That's my real plan for losing weight in 2022.
It'll work.
Oh,
Is-
well,
It'll work.
Okay, man.
And most of the weight in your mouth, though,
Fine
it's
for
mostly
you,
teeth.
Kids. Wait,
Your clothes will not
Wait.
fit any better, but your
Matt, do you
toothbrush
have a
will have
dental
plenty of
plan?
space.
Matt, do you have a dental plan?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So I'm fine with as a weight loss measure. No,
Mm.
I
I'm
can't
okay
even
with
say
that
No.
for weight loss.
Yeah, I'm okay with
No.
Yeah,
that.
so there's gonna be a new DVD coming out. It's the Benchwarmers weight loss plan. And it's just gonna be you're gonna open it up. It's gonna be a bag of meth.
It'll be
No,
clear
I got it,
booze,
no.
clear vegetables, and meth.
No, we're breaking federal law if that happens because we're mailing that across state lines.
No,
I'm
I'll
not
deliver.
mailing it.
I'll
I have
deliver.
Nothing to do with this.
I'll deliver.
Hand
delivered
If it's
by
lucrative
Eric.
enough, I will drive to you.
Kids,
it's clear
don't do
too.
meth.
Once you
Fellow
cook it, it's clear.
Fat guys like me don't do meth.
Right. and if you can't-
Nobody do meth, please.
No, but
don't.
somebody does it. I mean,
No,
somebody
Matt,
has
don't.
to do it.
I mean,
Matt,
tell
it's
them
a clear
not to.
liquid.
No,
If you can't do crystal meth, do clear meth. That's what it is.
it's the same thing, David. Come on,
Oh,
they just
oh.
stop calling it.
All right,
that. Come on.
but what if you did meth and then you had like Lucky Charms afterwards? It's basically balances out.
No, stop
No,
it.
if you eat a carrot afterward, it'll vouch
Oh,
for it
all
when
right.
it gets to your
One
stomach.
Man,
carrot.
you used to support
One
me
small
in this
carrot.
anti-meth
Yeah,
brigade.
kids don't
Celery,
do meth. It's
celery
not.
is negative calories, so some meth and celery, and you're basically that's Richard Simmons.
You are hardcore back on the meth.
I feel like it got away from us for a while, and I
There's a
wanted
wrap
to
it up
bring,
here, Bombag. Get
I wanted to
control
bring
here.
class back to this podcast.
You're bringing
Can you
the
tell I've not
assy
been
Well,
back
back.
a while?
nobody
Classy.
puts the assy and classy like Eric Eid. So let's, with that, say thanks for listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Thanks for being a Patreon supporter. And until next time, we'll keep the bench warm with nothing to do with meth.
That ball hit high and deep. Stretch! Get on back there. They look up. You can put it on the board. Yes!
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That great music you're listening to is by Justin Nozick. Thanks to him for producing that music for us. You've been listening to the Benchwarmers Trivia Podcast. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We are at Benchwarmers TP.
Maybe some heroin though.
No!
You know what?
Just a little bit.
That's a good point, Dan.
Just
That's
a
a
little
good point,
bit.
Dan.
A little bit of heroin. A little bit.
I mean, it's tomato.
Not tomatoes though. Those are gross.
No, yeah. Well, meth-filled tomatoes. You know what? I'm going to write that down.
Stopping this now.
$1 million
Stopping this
idea
now.
right there.
Here you go.
Meth
Keep the bench
tomatoes.